Hello friends, welcome back to Value Vintage Cards. Recently I've been picking up quite a few of the golden era, golden age kind of stuff, the 50s and 60s, even into the 70s. And I feel like I'm missing a little bit of my real core of what I really am enjoying. So I've picked up a few of those as well. I thought I'd share some real pre-war, some less traditional sized items. Um, if we call them oddball or oversized or where we go with the terminology, but let's just say it's the less traditional size things. So first two I'm going to share. This one's not part of the first two, but I wanted to bring this back. This is the 1931. See the little flip there a little bit. 1931 Metropolitan Studios. This is Branch Rickey, so kind of a tough player to collect. And so if you can find Branch Rickey stuff anywhere with any issue, sometimes you just take the jump. So not playing days, but 1931, super cool image and a tougher one to find. Metropolitan Studios was like team issue. So I have kept an eye out. There is, I think Dizzy Dean's the big one. Branch Rickey went for a very reasonable price. That wasn't a super expensive pickup back when I got it. But recently, several more were available. And given that they're usually tough, I feel like when you get pre-war and you go oversized, a lot of times they are just tough condition for different reasons. So the good thing is with them being oversized, usually the part that's rough condition is like the most forgiving part of the image. It's usually like a corner that's dinged or a rip or something, and for me, it doesn't draw my eye away from why I want the item. So the two I just picked up, same set. Picked up the Chick Hafey, which for me, I thought super cool. Absolutely love that image. So Chick Hafey, I decided was one I wanted to toss in there. He's one of those Hall of Famers that gets criticized a lot, so I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily collect him real hard. But between, kind of being known for his glasses, being, if not the first, one of the first players to wear glasses. There's, I think, a couple others back in that era that were already wearing glasses, perhaps. But he really had a very short career. He played like 13 years, and really his peak was like 5 or 6 years. He had a few years that were kind of decent. And then he had some years when he was, 22 and 23, still figuring it out. And then towards the end, he ended up retiring early. So he really was a short peak, strong prime kind of player, but, didn't hit 50 home runs and, all that kind of stuff. So he gets criticized a little bit, but he actually had a really impressive peak to his career. The other one I picked up from that set, another player that's in the same boat, often criticized. He had a few 20-win seasons, but Jesse, get in a little bit closer here. Jesse Haynes, for me, I mean, obviously Hall of Famers still, like it, love it, criticize it, whatever. He's in the Hall of Fame. You don't get even onto a ballot for your friends to vote for you if you're not at least worthy of consideration. But I thought the image, the uniform, everything about this was just so awesome. Both these pickups were, I thought, just phenomenal. And for both, I think I got both of those for less than most Diamond Stars Hall of Famers. And Diamond Stars Hall of Famers are known to be very affordable. It's crazy when you get into an oversized item in a pre-war era. You pick up two of them for, under $100, no problem with tax and delivery. Like that's pretty cool. So keep eyes open, keep mind open, and look for those interesting little sets. Metropolitan Studios is really cool. There's a few left I'm looking for, so I shouldn't have said that out loud, but there it is. It is funny because I feel like we kind of joke too of, are you moving the market? Are you changing things? If you want to say like I like 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr., no one cares. You're not going to move the market. There's 70 billion of them. With something like the Metropolitan Studios, like there might be 2 available all year. So moving the market might just mean you found a second buyer to compete with you for the next item offered. So it is very different when you're talking about stuff that's scarce, rare, and has limited availability for even finding it. So very different. Next up, I'm going to share one that I've shared before. Absolutely love this. 1936 Spencer shoes. I was trying to do some research. I wanted to sound a little smarter than I probably will, but the distribution of these didn't seem to be very clear. If they were mail ordered, if they were redeemed. I've seen some people taking some guesses, but obviously it's an item where he was a spokesperson or a sponsor, whatever, paid celebrity by Spencer Shoes. Classic image, absolutely fantastic. And when you search for this, you'll realize that there's 2 different ways Spencer Shoes was using Jimmy Fox's image. One was this, which was the premium. So I think they said, I kind of swore I just kept reading 7x9, but this is an 8x10 top loader. And this is absolutely, as full as it gets. I mean, that's the top. It's an 8x10 issue for sure. So I think I saw 7x9 somewhere, which 7x9 does not work for this. It's definitely an 8x10. Top loader, I never mind it not being in, a big crazy slab, so I could take it out. My copy is actually, again, from a friend, so this is it's a Larry item. Absolutely love that Jimmy Fox image, though. Such a classic, right? But the other way you can find a Spencer shoe item is this little guy. So I have a feeling this is the one that Jason will like, since he seems to like all things that are round, pins and tokens and coins and records, and I pick on Jason all the time. You just like round collectibles for whatever reason. Maybe he's gonna get into basketballs or baseballs next. I'm not sure, but that's what that is. So it's a 1936 Spencer shoe Jimmy Fox baseball club pin, and the pin itself, I think it's interesting how they grade these. I'm not sure what you consider that to be, the grading, but it's the Spencer shoe baseball club. They are legit pins, so to me, I don't mind it being slabbed, because that's actually something I'd have a hard time putting somewhere intelligently. I'm not sure how I would actually store that with the big pin sticking out of it and the fear of, rust and whatever else can happen. Getting the surface scraped up would be obviously a big detriment, so I'm kind of okay with that one being slabbed up. All right, moving on from the Spencer shoes. So that was, something old, something new to that. Getting into the last one, I'm going to show you a card I've had for some years. I mean, it's not like I've had it for 10 years, but I've had it for some years by now. It's a 1938 Gaudy Heads Up. One of the bigger ones from that set. The DiMaggio, I had a DiMaggio at one point, but do not currently. The DiMaggio is the big one, but Feller probably is the next biggest, I think. There's a Hank Greenberg in there that's an awful nice, price tag and cool image and everything else. There's some others, Geringer and Fox, and there's some pretty decent Hall of Fame runs of players. Ducky Medwick's in there. Trying to think who else I have, but they're nice because they are legit cards. So 38 Gaudy Heads Up. Some people don't enjoy that image. Some people say it looks, too cartoony for them. You've got the squiggles or no squiggles version, which is no squiggles. You'll see little writing, little kind of notes throughout the card, giving some facts and information about the player. So the Bob Feller I've had for a little bit. What's interesting when you dive into these pre-war era things, the idea of a rookie card and things like that a lot of times I just say first year card or first issue or first mass produced. I just picked up a card where it's probably the third issue, like even by year. There's just years that there's things out before them. But the ones before it, there's like 4 known to exist. So if you count that as a rookie card, there's like 4 people that have the rookie card, and then no one else has a rookie. So you just say it's an early issue. It's a first issue. It's a first mainstream, or mainstream back then. It's your pre-Topps Bowman. You're not really into, nothing's mainstream. So a little bit different way to analyze things. So the 38 Gaudy a lot of times is kind of defaulted as being like a feller rookie card. But there's stuff before that. So just like Joe DiMaggio in that era, you will find issues like this. And so this is a newer one for me. 1937. So type 4, if you get into these issues in this era, sometimes you'll see there's different types. So this is called a 1937 Gaudy Premium Bob Feller Type 4 pitching. Typically the types are, this looks like, looking at the writing, it looks just like every other Gaudy wide pen. The types typically are notated and differentiated based on either like tint, how much, is it finished to the edge. This has a little bit more of a tint to it than the black and white issues. So type 1 versus type 4, sometimes you'll see a difference in that type of small detail. But a lot of the cards are only issued in one type or the other, so it's not like you get a choice anyway. But the Bob Feller, I thought that was a pretty outstanding looking image. Anything you could do to pick up something like that where it's, a Bob Feller, I think pre-rookie's silly because he's still at, major league status at that point. But it's maybe closer to being a rookie. Go with that. So 1937, it's 1 year before the 38 issue. It's, comparatively, people say, like, I don't like the, cartoonish looking image. Well, then get an actual image. Get it oversized. Also, if you look at price, this is pretty big. This isn't. So I think when I bought this, I got a pretty fair deal. I still got this recently for a third of what I paid for this years ago. A couple years ago, not, again, not 10 years ago, but still, when you look at the price difference, this is probably 25 to 35% the price of this in essentially the same condition. We got our 2 with some issues, and you got a 2 with markings. I actually enjoy the markings. I've become kind of a big fan of that, as long as it's not like defacing or trying to hide something. I showed the back of this. Whoever had that tried to make that, or enjoy the fact that that had writing on the back. Whoever had this tried to make this into a traditional baseball card, which I think that's just fun. Bob Feller, pitcher, Indians, bats and throws, righty. That doesn't take away at all for me. It's a blank back anyway. Some of these are postcards. They get marks because somebody's writing a letter to their friend, or on the back of a little postcard sending a message. Something like that, where someone tried to make it into like an actual card, it would seem. I think that's fun. I have no issue with that. In fact, to me, that makes my copy of that more unique. Tells a little bit different story. So whoever had that really wanted to track, either a player they weren't familiar with or their favorite player. Maybe they did that with all their items, and they just took them and wrote on the back and said, this is who it is. I mean, putting Bob Feller on is kind of silly, but in reality, that's what this does too. It says Bob Feller on the back, even though it's on the front. So they really did a nice job turning that into a card, probably back in 1937. So gosh darn near 90 years ago, they spent some time to make their oversized item into a traditional card. So I enjoy it. That's all I got for you today, though. I just wanted to share a few things that were kind of a, old stuff, new stuff, kind of a balance of something I had and something I added that was very much in that same mindset and same theme. So that's it for today. I'll catch up with you all on the next one. Take care.